It's me. It's Maggie. Again, bringing you back a review for Netflix's new Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. I'm blushing. Just in case you don't know about this book, D.H. Lawrence wrote this back in 1920s. It got published in 1929, only in Italy, because Lady Chatterley's Lover was ahead of its time. Honestly, if you don't know about it, it is actually quite interesting. When it got published by Penguin Books in the UK or Britain, it actually got slapped with a lawsuit for obscenity. In Britain, they had an obscenity law. It was called the Obscene Publications Act of 1959. Back then, this book was ahead of its time. It used the word and liberally to describe their sex life. And he described a sex scene, not explicitly as much as romance novels are now. You know what I'm saying? And it actually went to court. Lots of people were asked to read the book and give their opinion about it. Scholars, even people of the clergy, agreed that this was not as obscene as it is, and it needs to be read by the public. Mini history. So I'm a big proponent of reading books before seeing the adaptation. I say this because D.H. Lawrence's Lady Chatterley's Lover, the book, is slightly different than the Netflix's adaptation. I feel like Netflix takes liberties in certain ways. They make sure to give you that happily ever after that the book doesn't really give you. I think that's an interesting way for the writer that they wrote this. The reason I bring that up is because there's other adaptations of this book. There's 2 versions by BBC, and there's one by Emmanuel. Do you remember Emmanuel from the 90s, guys? I wanted to make sure we knew this because I was like, if Emmanuel's making an adaptation of this, you know this is scandalous. This movie got a hard R for nudity, and I want to be very clear about this. This is a hard R. Even for Netflix, I was very surprised by it because nowadays you can get an R for smoking a cigarette. There was no cigarettes. There's just nudity and thrusting. There's a lot of thrusting. To give you a quick gist of what this movie is about is, it's a post-period piece of World War I. The husband of Lady Chatterley has come back and he has become a paraplegic. They go back to his home and they try to start their own family. And it's a little hard to have an heir when he's become a paraplegic. To review this movie, I was looking forward to it because I am a big proponent of deciding what the book versus the adaptation is like. So what differs in the movie versus the book is Lord Chatterley tells his wife that she can take on a lover as long as he doesn't know, and they produce an heir. In the book, she just goes for it. Both the book and the movie try to talk about social commentary, the haves and have-nots, because it is a power struggle, especially in this day and age, we all still talk about it. She is a lady, and her lover is Oliver Mellors, and he is just the groundskeeper. They well documented and talked about throughout the movie, because what can he give her when she has everything when all he can give her is his body? And it's an interesting dichotomy because then you talk about her husband who literally has everything, but he doesn't have a body. Anyways, I can go deep dive in this book and this movie, and it's very heavy and it's a big book report, and I do really enjoy this book. That being said, since I love the source material so much, how do I feel about the Netflix original? Chemistry is great. I'm going to be honest with you. Emma Corrin, who you must know her from My Policeman, and also, of course, The Crown. And then Jack O'Connelly, who's most known from Unbound. They are 2 very good-looking people having really good-looking sex. And let's be real, neither of them shy, and they're very cute, very pretty. But I feel like that's kind of the movie. We all have seen sex scenes. Okay, great. Is this all that what this is about? If so, I can also get that free on Google. I feel like that's all that was carrying it, and that's kind of like, great, thank you so much. I have the infamous sex scenes that do happen, because this book, one of the big things everyone's talking about is like, oh, they had sex outside. Oh. Meliodas is all about giving her pleasure. Oh, okay, thank you so much. What else? I need to know about that struggle, the power struggle. And you do get it a little bit, but Clifford Chatterley doesn't go down that downward spiral that he does in the book. He regresses as a man, and that's why he becomes obsessed with Lady Chatterley. And so you don't get that as much anymore. And so I feel like that's kind of the reason why she has to go find love or human companionship or just physical touch with Oliver Mellors. Yes, you can see that she's really isolated and that she's alone and she just reads and she goes for walks. But I'm like, I don't know. It didn't hit deep as it could have. And I feel like it was a disservice for the source material. Was it beautiful? Oh my gosh. Just like any other adaptation of like a period piece of this time, especially the 1920s, 1930s, it is beautiful. And they did put money into production and the costuming, and let's be real, her wig was great. It was spot on. And it was gorgeous, but that only takes me so far. One great bit of casting they did for this, though, was they brought back Jolie Richardson. She plays Mrs. Bolton. She actually played Lady Chatterley in like the BBC's first version, where her love interest was Sean Bean. It was a great bit of casting, and also her ending scene was wonderful in this movie. It is different from the book, but it does give you that HEA that we're all looking for in a book. So if you're looking for the superior adaptation of this, I actually really prefer the second BBC version, which stars Richard Madden as Oliver Mellors. The scripts are different and Richard Madden just oozes charm. I'm not gonna lie, those sex scenes were great. Not taking away from this new Netflix original adaptation. I'm happy I watched it because how could I not? But I've seen better.
It's amazing, isn't it? How someone can get so into your blood. Let me be.
Thanks again for joining. My name is Maggie. Please, I would love to hear your comments. I would love to hear from other book readers or adaptation lovers about this movie because I would love to know what you guys thought about it and other books too, if you want to talk about it. I'm all here for it. All right, baby? And again, please like this video, leave a comment, hit subscribe, and please ring that bell. We'd love to hear from you, and I want you to hear from me. All right, thank you. Bye.